Welcome everyone. You're watching our special Olympic presentation Game for Gold. I'm Shivani Gupta. With me in the studio are two special guests. Nalin is joining us and also Shikha Oberoi, former tennis player. But before we get to our guests, let's first update you about the big blow that the Indian contingent has received already on day one. The campaign seeming to have gone from bad to worse. After badminton, poor results coming in from archery, where the men's team had bowed out of the competition. The Indian team of Tarundeep Roy, Rahul Banerjee and Jayant Talukdar were up against the Japanese and played well initially to take the opponents into the tiebreaker after both teams were tied at 214 points post the 4 regulation rounds. But here the Japan team edged ahead, scoring 29 to India's 27 points and thus eliminating them out of the competition. Right. Nalin, did you expect them to at least get past this round? It was a tricky one facing Japan. It wasn't easy by any measure, but are you a little disappointed?
Yes, I think it is quite disappointing, but you know, the men's team were never in the reckoning necessarily as far as our stalwarts for these games are concerned. They haven't really been in top form. They barely qualified by the skin of their teeth earlier this year in the championships in Ogden. So in that sense, it's disappointing. I think how they have performed in the qualifying round. You know, they placed last. That was and their performance was way below their normal personal performances as well.
Right.
And I think that's why they ended up playing Japan, which is a much more stronger team. They did their best. They lost in the tiebreaker. They lost rather closely. These things happen in sport, but in the larger scheme of things, the real hopes in the archery contingent were always with the women's team.
So it's not a big blow to a medal contention.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, of course, if the men's team had done well, there were lots of hopes riding with these guys, because you know there was something of a fairy tale attached to the men's team in the sense that they qualified by the skin of their teeth. The main archer in the men's team is the brother of Dola Banerjee. You know, all of that. So in that sense, of course, when your team loses, you of course feel bad, but I don't think it affects the larger medal count that people were expecting from this contingent. The real deal is the women's team, but again, the women's team placed 8th in the qualifying rounds. We still have Deepika Kumari, the women's team was 9th, and Deepika Kumari was 8th in the singles event. We'll see what happens there. She's paired to square off against the British Amy Olivier, who's number 57, who plays number 57. So let's see how that goes. But I don't think this affects us necessarily.
Exactly, because it's the women's side of the competition as far as archery is concerned. That was our big hope in any case to begin with. Of course, I want to remind our viewers at this point of time that you can call in on the number we're flashing on the screens. And if you want to give your take on, you know, just how you feel on the Indian men's archery team bowing out and also the bad result in badminton today, or anything else related to the Olympics, the athletes that are going to be performing today, that are going to, you know, get set for their medal contention today, any of that and all of that, you can get in touch with us on that number and talk to our guests as well. But Shikha, it does set a little bit of a problematic tone if you lose. You start losing from the first day, because if you start winning, it can set a very different mood and everybody can be buoyant, but here it can take you down a little bit.
Yeah, it can, but you know, it is just the first day. We have a whole bunch of days left. We have phenomenal athletes who've been working very hard, looking forward to this. Let's not lose hope. Let's stay patient. We have a lot more time.
Alright, on that note, let's also take a look at the other result, a big result that we got today. Initially in the morning, disappointing start for medal hopefuls Jwala Gutta and V. Diju. They lost their first match in the mixed doubles badminton competition. Ranked number 2 in their category, Gutta and Diju lost to the top-ranked team of T. Ahmed and El Nasser of Indonesia, 21-16 and 21-12. The Indian pair still has 2 more matches to go in their round-robin stage and will have to bring out their A game to have a chance of getting through to the next stage of the competition. I think that always creates a lot of pressure if you lose your first round.